I recently just ended a 3-year friendship with one of my best friends, and this is why, but I feel kind of bad about it. I tend to do things without thinking too much. Like, I tend to just go with my gut instincts, and I need your guys' advice. You know those people who are kind of like overly friendly? They have like this amazing talent of being able to talk to anybody and hold a conversation with anybody and make everyone kind of feel special in the room. I love those people, but it's just like slightly like a little bit sus. We jumped into a friendship. It was kind of weird. She would always invite me to go out to parties and stuff and like go to the bar. It kind of became like one of the only things that we would ever do together. She would invite me out to these little events and these little get-togethers on like a Tuesday. This girl would do that almost every single day of the week. She wouldn't go to school the next day. I would go over to her dorm and we would get ready to go out and go do something. Her like overly niceness would turn into kind of these snarky passive-aggressive comments. I was just doing my eyeshadow or whatever, and she looks at me and she's like, how do you feel comfortable wearing that much makeup? How do you do it? I just really love clean girl makeup. It looks so mature and just like, you're not trying too hard. I was like, clean girl makeup doesn't really suit everybody though. It favors more Eurocentric, like white girl beauty standards a little bit. She's like, yeah, you're right. You're probably right. It was like 7 p.m. and I started getting hungry. So I asked her if she wanted to order DoorDash. She's like, I'm good. You know, I don't eat fast food that much and I just bought groceries. I would offer you some, but I know that you hate healthy food, so. Sometimes I just felt like she was just disgusted by me. Like, it made me think, okay, are you really my friend or are you just my friend because you don't have any other friends? I left her dorm to go to the party, got into the Uber, drove all the way to the party, and as we're walking outside of the Uber to the front steps, she turns to me and she goes, you're so brave for wearing slides out to a party. I could never wear slides to a party. I would feel like a bum. I swear she waited until after we left her house because she knew it would be too late for me to change my shoes. The night goes on. She's off talking to a bunch of guys. So one of the guys that was originally talking to her leaves her and comes up and starts talking to me. I tell the guy, sir, I have a boyfriend. You're wasting your time. Out of nowhere, while I'm talking to this guy, for probably less than 5 minutes, to be honest, she comes up to me, runs up to me. She's like, come to the bathroom with me. Pulls me away into the bathroom. We're in the bathroom. She's looking at herself in the mirror, looks at me, dead in the eye. Do you think you're pretty? She turns back to the mirror. She looks at herself, dead in the eye, in the mirror. I know I'm pretty. Okay. Opens the bathroom door and leaves. As more people are filtering out, the guys who were throwing the party were like clearly getting more and more desperate. So I was minding my own business, and at one point, this group of like 5 guys comes up to me and they kind of swarm me and they're talking to me and they're like, what's your name? What's your Snapchat? What's your major? All this stuff. And I'm like, okay, guys, I did not come here to find a man. I have a boyfriend. I'm taken. And even if I wasn't taken, I would not find a guy that's partying on a Tuesday. While I'm telling these guys to go kick rocks, I notice her looking at me from the kitchen. She then runs up to me again and says, I need you for a minute. Grabs my arm again, pulls me into the hallway. I'm like, oh nice, I have a good friend who's saving me from these random gross ugly dudes. But nah, she looks at me and she goes, I'm your friend and I'm just trying to be real with you. I'm just trying to be really real, like so real. It looks like you're a whore and you look really desperate and it's embarrassing. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. I said, I'm gonna go home now. And I left. I got an Uber and I left. Went to bed, no text from her. She didn't call me, anything. She didn't even question it. I just left, never heard from her. The next morning, I wake up to my boyfriend who had sent me a screenshot. This bitch had DM'd him at 2 a.m. Hey, I'm on campus right now and I'm scared to walk to my dorm alone. Will you come walk me to my room? Hey, period. Like just you or, yes, it's just me. I have work tomorrow and I'm in bed, period. Sorry, period. No one else I know is awake. Please. And then she uses the emoji. He didn't reply. She double texted him saying, I know you're a sweet guy and you don't have to worry about her getting mad. Again, he didn't reply. Third text. I've always thought you were sweet. My man is loyal, so you thought. So she has not tried to contact me yet. This was 3 days ago. Unfortunately, though, I have school on Tuesday. So we're going to see each other eventually. Just like in simple terms, what do I do?
Ask and you shall receive. So I officially started dating this guy back in November of last year, and we had been talking for a whole month prior to becoming official. We spent a lot of time together, went on really cute dates, and pretty early on in the relationship, I started spending the weekends with him. Our weekends were pretty routine, so it was something that I got used to and thoroughly enjoyed. Like, I was very happy in this relationship. And honestly, I would say he was happy too, or at least I thought. But he was going through some hardships financially and socially, and I was there for him. I did everything I could to support him in any way that he would allow me to support him. I actually made another TikTok about all the things I did for him, and trust me, it was a lot. So anyway, Valentine's Day came around and we had a really sweet and cute 2-part date. The first night, he took me to a really fancy dinner. We got dressed up and I loved it. And then the second night, he made us dinner, decorated his apartment all cute, and then we went downtown to the Art Institute. And there I was on top of the world because I thought I finally found someone who was willing to put in the effort for me. And I appreciated it because I hadn't been used to that before. Well, a week later, he had a job interview in another state, and that is when everything changed, like that, like the flip of a switch. On his drive back here, over Snapchat, he's like, I have doubts about our relationship. And I said, whoa, where is this coming from? And he was like, well, you like pets and I don't, and you don't seem to be religious enough, and blah, 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 blah. But I was like, I'm at work, right? And I'm like crying because I'm so confused where this came from. A few days later, he picked me up, took me to dinner, drove me back home, and that was when he said, I think I need some space. And I was like, okay, thinking, he's just got to get his head straight because he said that he was going through a lot mentally and he just wasn't feeling motivated. So I understood, I really, really care about and advocate for mental health. 10 seconds after he pulled out of the driveway, he stopped sharing his location with me. I was like, whoa, that was quick. So I was like in shock at this point. So I was genuinely confused and lost because I didn't know what this meant for our relationship, seeing as he had 2 surgeries planned for the next week and I was supposed to take care of him. He refused my help and instead had his mom drive up from 8 hours away, and she was taking care of him for a couple days. Well, once she left, he was still in a lot of pain, and so I, out of the kindness of my heart, went to the store, picked him up some things, got him some food and a smoothie one night, and then dropped it off at his apartment without him knowing that I was there. And his mom had said to me in a message, it's so sweet of you to be willing to help after he just broke your heart. And that was the moment that I was like, are we broken up? I still had hope at this point because I thought needing space meant he just needed to get his mind right, and did not mean, oh, we're done. So after a week and a half maybe, I was like, look, I need to know what's going on. Should I come pick my stuff up from your apartment, or like, what's the deal? And that's when he told me he was going to be moving out of the state in a couple days. And I was like, pardon me? And he said he was going to drop my stuff off because of the way that life was taking us. So I actually met up with him in a parking lot of Walmart to get my stuff back from him, and it took all of like 2 minutes. He didn't want to have a conversation with me. He knew that I was going to get emotional, and he was like, deuces. Shortly after, I realized he did not give me everything, and that's why I wanted to go pack my stuff up because I knew he was going to forget all my bathroom stuff. So I texted him and I was like, hey, like all my stuff is still in the bathroom. Can I come pick it up tomorrow before you leave, or will you drop it off? He didn't respond until the next morning, and all he did was send me a picture of my stuff on the floor of the lobby of his apartment. The amount of disrespect you have to have for somebody to do that is just beyond me. So then he moves, and that's that. I was pretty heartbroken, but I also still kind of had hope. I don't know. I still hadn't gotten that confirmation that we were like done. Fast forward 2 or 3 weeks, and I do a little snooping, right? I went to go and follow him on TikTok, and I looked at his following list, and I saw that there was another young woman who he had followed most recently. I was like, wow, this girl is beautiful and probably is my replacement because we resemble each other. So as girls do, I snooped on her Instagram as well, and he had been liking her posts, and she saw that I was viewing her story, so she finally reached out to me one day, and she's like, hey, do we know each other? I saw you viewing my stuff, and we have a mutual friend, besides my ex at this point. And then I just came clean. I told her, I was like, look, I think you're talking to my ex who didn't really break up with me, and there are things that I feel like I should warn you about just looking at my relationship retrospectively because she and I had so much in common. And to my surprise, she was super, super sweet, had a conversation with me, called me on the phone while I was crying, and she was like disgusted by the way he treated me. And after I told her one thing, she was like, oh, so you guys were actually dating? And I said, yeah, we were actually dating. She goes, he told me that you went on like 4 dates. What the fuck? So anywho, to sum it all up, he lied about our relationship after not breaking up with me officially. And then as soon as I caught him in this lie, he blocked me on everything. So that's my story.